You're not tired, you're just undisciplined. You're not lost, you're just surrounded by cowards who've lied to you your entire life. And deep down, you know it. You've been playing weak. You've been living soft. And every second you stay this way, the man you were born to be dies a little more. So ask yourself, how much longer are you going to let your potential rot in silence? Most men will live and die as nobodies. That's the harsh reality no one wants to admit. They'll wake up, hit snooze on their alarm for the 6th time, scroll through meaningless notifications, chase cheap dopamine from screens, and walk through life with no fire, no edge, no direction. They've surrendered to comfort. They've made peace with mediocrity. And the saddest part, they don't even realize they're prisoners. You see it everywhere. Men who've traded ambition for distraction, potential for pleasure, and legacy for laziness. These are not men. They are shadows of what they could have been. Their strength is dormant. Their spirit is numb. They've been fed lies since birth. Just be yourself. You're perfect the way you are. No, you're not perfect the way you are. You're weak. You're soft. You're lost. You are far from the man you were meant to become. The truth is, a high-value man isn't born. He is forged in fire. And that fire is pain, rejection, pressure, discipline. He is chiseled through setbacks, carved through suffering, and refined through relentless self-discipline. You do not become high value by chance. You become him through choice. You choose to get up when you're tired. You choose to read while others numb themselves with mindless entertainment. You choose to keep pushing when no one claps, when no one believes in you, when no one sees your effort. That's what builds you. That's where respect comes from. That's what makes a man valuable. Not talk, but transformation. Most of you are scared of becoming men of value because it demands the death of your current identity. You have to kill the laziness. You have to bury the comfort. You have to destroy the weak mindset you've been coddled with since you were a boy. You cannot become a high-value man while still entertaining the habits of a low-value one. The man who scrolls all day, who skips the gym, who lies to himself with excuses, he cannot walk the path of power. And if you don't kill him, he will kill your future. Every day you don't evolve is a day you choose to stay forgettable. The real world doesn't care about your potential. It only rewards performance. It doesn't hand out participation trophies. It bows to those who are dangerous with discipline. A high-value man has presence. He enters a room and doesn't need to speak. His aura says it all. It's not just muscles or money or suits. It's a coded confidence, a deep-rooted belief, carved from years of self-respect. Because you cannot fake being high value. You cannot posture your way to greatness. You become valuable by becoming undeniable. By becoming the kind of man who cannot be ignored because his very existence demands recognition. But understand this, you don't become him overnight. There will be days you feel like quitting, days your body screams in pain, days your mind tells you it's pointless, and it's in those moments, the silent battles, the lonely nights, the invisible sacrifices, where the separation happens. That's when the average man taps out. That's when the high-value man tightens his grip and says, I don't care how I feel, I'm not done yet. That's when transformation takes root. And let me be clear, this isn't about becoming arrogant or heartless. A true high-value man isn't loud or fake confident. He's grounded, he listens, he leads, he inspires, he protects, he speaks truth without fear, and he uplifts those around him, not for validation, but because his strength overflows. He's not seeking attention, he commands it naturally. Why? Because he's built different. He's earned it. He's paid the price in sweat, blood, time, and sacrifice. And this journey, it's not just about money or women or aesthetics. Those things come naturally when you become someone worthy of them. The true prize is internal. It's peace of mind. It's knowing you have power over your own life. It's walking through chaos and being unshaken. It's having the strength to say no when the world tempts you to break your code. It's mastering yourself to such a degree that no man, no system, no situation can control you. That is true value. That is what makes a man high value. Not the car, not the followers, not the image, but the substance. And that man, he's in you. He's been buried under years of lies, addictions, excuses, and softness. But he's not dead. He's waiting for you to stop pretending. Waiting for you to stand up and take ownership, waiting for you to cut the bullshit and face yourself. Because once you decide that you are no longer tolerating mediocrity, everything changes. The world treats you differently. People respect you differently. Life opens for those who walk with purpose. So if you're sitting there thinking you've got time, thinking you can ease into greatness, wake up. Time is not your friend is the most ruthless enemy you've got. It ticks away while you scroll, while you doubt, while you delay. Every minute you waste is a brick stolen from the empire you could have built. High value isn't an accident, it's a decision followed by 1,000 daily executions. And if you're not willing to pay the price, stay average. But don't you dare pretend you never had a choice. There was a time I was broke, not just in my bank account, but in my spirit. I wasn't always like this. I remember sitting alone in a room that stank of regret. The walls didn't echo confidence, they echoed every bad decision I ever made. I had no plan, no purpose, just an endless loop of distractions disguised as comfort. I'd wake up late, lie to myself with words like tomorrow, and bury my potential under cheap pleasures. I wasn't living, I was surviving. And deep down, I knew I was lying to myself every single day. I knew I was made for more. But instead of rising, I rationalized. I told myself, I'm not ready, as if greatness waits for permission. Then one day, something snapped. I remember walking past a mirror, and for the first time, I really looked at myself. Not the skin, not the haircut, not the mask I wore in public, but the truth. I saw a man who was wasting his gift. I saw fear. I saw comfort. I saw a coward. And that moment was brutal because no amount of external validation could silence the war inside. The scariest fight you'll ever face is the one between the man you are and the man you were born to be. That day I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I decided. I decided that the version of me standing there would not be the one that dies. I refused to die as a man I didn't respect. People think becoming high value is some glamorous Instagram journey. They think it's watches, suits, and private jets. What they don't see is the darkness. They don't see the early mornings when your body aches and no one's watching. They don't see the sacrifices when you cut off friends you once called family because they chose mediocrity over growth. They don't see the lonely nights where you sit in silence, questioning everything, but still choose not to break. The world glamorizes the outcome, but becoming high value is born in the silence, in the grind, in the discomfort that no one applauds. When I started the climb, I was surrounded by people who didn't understand. They laughed when I said no to parties. They mocked my routines. They told me I was obsessed. And they were right. I was obsessed. Obsessed with the man I could become. Obsessed with not being average. Obsessed with becoming dangerous, valuable, undeniable. And while they stayed in place, I evolved. Every book I read, every rep I pushed, every deal I chased, it wasn't just activity, it was war. I was at war with the weaker version of myself. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was trying to rescue myself from the mediocrity that almost consumed me. There were moments I felt like quitting. Days where the bank balance mocked me. Nights where the silence was deafening. But I kept going because I wasn't chasing pleasure. I was chasing power, not over others, but over myself, over my mind, over my choices, over my destiny. If you cannot control yourself, someone else will. And I refuse to be controlled. I refuse to be a man who dies full of dreams but empty of courage. And then slowly things began to shift, not because the world changed, but because I changed. The same people who laughed, they started asking for advice. The same opportunities that once ignored me, they came knocking. But I didn't do it for applause. I didn't do it for women or for clout. I did it because I owed it to the boy I once was. The boy who used to stare at the ceiling at night and wonder if he'd ever be enough. I became the man he needed. That's what becoming high value means. It means becoming the man your younger self would be proud of and your future self would thank. And if you're sitting there thinking this is some motivational fairy tale, it's not. I'm not telling you it's easy, I'm telling you it's necessary. I'm telling you that you can do it, but you won't if you keep lying to yourself. The clock is ticking and no one is coming to save you. There is no magic button, there is no secret shortcut. Just decisions, just daily painful, powerful choices. The man who becomes high value is the man who embraces pain and turns it into progress. I was once you, confused, lost, full of untapped potential and excuses, but I made a choice and I backed it up with obsession. And if I can do it, you can too. Not because I'm special, but because the truth is every man is born with greatness inside of him. It's just buried under years of weakness, fear, and comfort. And once you start digging, once you start chiseling away everything that's not you, you realize something terrifying and beautiful. You were never meant to be average. The most terrifying thing about life isn't failure, it's regret. That slow, creeping realization that you were capable of becoming something legendary, but you let it slip. You let distractions hijack your destiny. You let comfort win the war. And now you walk around pretending it's all good when deep down, your soul is screaming for more. Every man dies, but not every man truly lives. And most of you aren't living, You're coping. You're dragging your body through the years, doing just enough to survive, but never enough to conquer. You think you have time. You really believe that. You walk around like the clock isn't your enemy. But the truth is, time doesn't forgive weakness. It doesn't pause when you procrastinate. It doesn't slow down when you're lost. It keeps moving, dragging your potential with it, until one day you wake up too old, too tired, too broken to fight back. And the saddest part, you'll remember this exact moment. You'll remember reading this, feeling that fire and still doing nothing. You'll look back and think, that was the moment I could have changed everything. And that thought will haunt you more than any failure ever could. The world isn't against you. You're against you. Every excuse you make is a betrayal. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you are voting against your future. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. And if you lack discipline, you're telling the world and yourself that your life isn't worth fighting for, that your dreams are negotiable, that your future is optional. And the worst part is, you know it. That's why it eats you. That's why you feel that heaviness when you're alone. That's why the silence is so loud, because deep down, you know you were born for more. There are no neutral days. Every day you waste, your enemies get stronger. Your competition grows while you scroll. The man who wants your spot is in the gym right now. He's grinding, learning, building, while you're rationalizing laziness with fake affirmations. You tell yourself you're healing, you're resting, you're waiting for the right time. No, you're hiding. You're protecting the version of yourself that should have been killed off years ago. Comfort is the enemy of greatness, and the more comfortable you get, the further you drift from the man you were meant to be. What scares me isn't the man who fails. What scares me is the man who settles. The man who had the fire but let the world dim it. The man who got punched once and stayed down. The man who once had ambition but traded it for validation. If you want to become high value, you need to realize that the version of you who's okay with being average needs to die. That weak, indecisive, insecure man can't come with you. He's dead weight. And if you don't bury him, life will bury you. But here's the flip side, the hope. And this is real, not some fairy tale. You can change. Right now, not tomorrow. Not after some fake spiritual awakening, now. Change isn't some mystical transformation. It's a brutal, deliberate decision. You wake up and say, I'm done playing small. And you follow it with action. You build new habits, you kill old patterns, you stay consistent even when no one's clapping. Because you're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because the man inside you is clawing to break free. You don't need $1 million to be valuable. You don't need fame or followers. You need discipline. You need self-respect. You need a mission so powerful that people feel it when you walk into a room. Becoming a high-value man isn't about flexing, it's about impact. It's about walking through this world like a storm with direction. It's about being the man people trust, admire, fear, and love all at once. The man who doesn't fold under pressure, the man who walks into chaos and brings order, the man who commands his own fate. And if you're thinking, I've made too many mistakes, let me tell you this, mistakes don't define you. Quitting. Every high-value man you admire was once broken. He was once lost, but he refused to stay there. He used the pain. He turned shame into fuel. He sharpened his scars into weapons. And so can you. But you've got to stop negotiating with your demons. You've got to stop waiting for the world to hand you strength. You've got to build it. Brick by bloody brick. Your mind will lie to you. It'll whisper, you're tired. You deserve a break. You're doing enough, and if you listen, you'll rot. But if you fight back, if you scream louder than those lies, you'll rise. The difference between winning and losing is how you speak to yourself when no one's watching. Your self-talk is your greatest weapon or your greatest curse. And most of you are using it to destroy yourselves in silence. You are not put here to be a spectator. You were not born to be average. The fact that you're still breathing means the war isn't over, but you have to choose comfort or greatness, safety or legacy, distraction or domination. The clock is ticking, the mirror is watching, and the man inside you is begging for resurrection. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Becoming a high-value man isn't a title. It's a vow. It's a declaration to the world that mediocrity has no place in your life. It's the decision to suffer now so you don't suffer forever. It's realizing that life doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to what you do. Every second you sit idle, some other man is sharpening his sword. While you hesitate, he prepares. While you entertain weakness, he becomes a weapon. And when the storm hits, he dominates. Not because he's lucky, but because he's ready. Success doesn't visit the comfortable, it lives with the obsessed. If you're not willing to go beyond the limits, you'll never break the chains. You don't become powerful by doing what's easy. You become powerful by doing what's required. The gym when you're tired, the grind when you're empty, the discipline when nobody's watching. That's where men are built. in the silence, in the struggle, in the sacrifice. That's where the difference is born between those who wish and those who win. Every man wants to be respected, but respect isn't given to the loudest voice in the room. It's given to the one who backs up every word with action. It's given to the man who doesn't complain, doesn't beg, doesn't fold. The man who stares adversity in the face and says, bring more. The man who walks into chaos and creates order. Pressure doesn't break high-value men, it reveals them. And if you want to be him, you better stop avoiding the fire and learn how to walk through it. People are watching you, whether you know it or not. Your family, your brothers, your future kids, they're all counting on you to become something greater than excuses. You don't rise alone. When you elevate, everyone around you starts to believe it's possible. That's the weight you carry as a high-value man. You're the lighthouse when the sea is black. You're the anchor when the world is shaking. And if you don't build yourself into that rock, you'll crumble the second life tests you. You have to be dangerous, but controlled. Powerful, but precise. A man who knows how to unleash chaos, but chooses mastery. That's what real strength is. Anyone can be angry, anyone can lose control. But a high-value man is calm under pressure, sharp under stress, and lethal when it matters. Be so grounded that nothing shakes you, and so focused that nothing distracts you. Because distraction is the new disease, and men are dying slow deaths inside of it. You don't have time to be consumed by nonsense. Your vision has to be so clear that temptation becomes invisible. There will be days you want to quit, days you feel empty, days you question everything, but that's the difference between boys and men. Boys look for motivation, men build discipline. Boys look for permission, men take control. Boys need external validation, men move in silence and let results do the talking. Becoming a high-value man means you become your own fuel. When the world goes dark, you're the fire. When life gets cold, you're the heat. When others collapse, you rise. No one is coming to save you. Let that sink in. There is no magical moment, no reset button, no helping hand strong enough to pull you out of hell if you refuse to climb. The only one who can build the life you crave is you. Not your parents, not your girl, not your mentor. It's on you. Pain is the currency of growth, and every moment you run from it, you stay poor. But if you face it, truly face it, you become rich in strength, in character, in identity. That's the real wealth. That's the power no one can steal. Becoming high value isn't seasonal. You don't take a break from greatness, you live it, breathe it, bleed it. Even on your worst day, you uphold the standard. Because when you do, life starts to open doors you didn't even know existed. Opportunities show up that only the discipline can see. Energy shifts in your favor. People treat you differently, not because you changed what you wear, but because you changed who you are. You've become rare, and the rare are respected. Work in silence, shock the world, not by flexing, not by talking, but by becoming a force so undeniable that your presence speaks louder than any post ever could. Be the man who doesn't announce his grind, but whose life is the announcement. Be the one they whisper about because your transformation was so real, so drastic, so untouchable, they can't ignore it. You don't need 10 years, you need intensity, you need commitment. You need to treat the next 6 months like your entire future depends on it, because it does. One focused year can change your bloodline forever. One stretch of relentless pursuit can pull you out of every failure, every dark place, every version of you that wasn't worthy. But it requires burning the bridge to your past and going all in on the man you're destined to be. You want respect? Earn it in silence. Build a physique that speaks for itself. Create habits so strong that failure becomes impossible. Stack wins until even your enemies applaud. Wake up every day and ask yourself, would the man I want to be proud of who I am right now? And if the answer is no, fix it. Don't cry, don't mope, fix it. Because that's what real men do. This is the era of king, the time of lions. The weak are fading, the strong are rising, and you have two choices. Watch it happen or become it. You want to become a high-value man? Then don't just change, evolve. Break every rule that told you to play safe. Burn every lie that told you you're not enough. Walk into that mirror, stare yourself down and say, today, I kill who I was, and I build who I must become, because no one else will do it for you. This is the moment that separates the spectators from the warriors. This is the line in the sand. This is where men either step up or step back. And you know damn well that stepping back isn't an option anymore. You've heard enough. You felt the fire build inside you. But now comes the part most men never reach: execution. Because it's easy to nod your head. It's easy to get hyped for an hour. It's easy to say, I'm ready. But it means nothing unless your actions start screaming louder than your intentions. This is the difference between liking the idea of a high-value man and becoming one. You've got one life, one body, one mind. And the world is trying to corrupt all three. Every time you scroll past greatness to settle for nonsense, you delay your destiny. Every time you choose comfort over confrontation, you rob your future self of power. The man you're supposed to be is already inside of you, screaming to be unleashed. But he'll never break through as long as you protect your weaknesses. You've got to stop negotiating with mediocrity. You've got to bury the version of you that tolerated less. Because greatness isn't achieved through improvement alone. It's achieved through obliteration of anything that doesn't serve your rise. Look around you. The world rewards the strong, not the soft. It celebrates the winners, not the whiners. You think anyone cares about your excuses? You think life's gonna pause because you had a rough day? No, it keeps moving. And either you move with it, with force, with focus, with fury, or you get left behind and replaced by the man who was willing to bleed for what you only dreamed of. You either rise up and become what you're meant to be, or you'll spend the rest of your life watching someone else live the life you were too scared to fight for. You want to be respected? Respected by men, admired by women, feared by your enemies, protected by your discipline. Then stop hoping and start hammering. A high-value man doesn't wait for motivation. He creates momentum. He doesn't complain when it's hard. He smiles because pressure is where diamond. He doesn't beg for attention. His presence commands it. He doesn't chase pleasure. He chases legacy. That's the level you need to aim for. That's the reality you need to wake up to every single morning. Hungry, cold, and dangerous. You don't need to change everything overnight, but you do need to make the decision right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when it's convenient. Now. Because every second you hesitate, your dreams rot. Your future dies. The clock doesn't care how tired you are. Time is not your friend, it's your opponent. And the only way to defeat it is to outrun it. You run faster, you train harder, you think sharper, you live with more purpose than anyone around you. Because while they're wasting days, you're building an empire. There is no cavalry coming, no miracle waiting, no shortcut that leads to power. There's only the grind. The lonely, brutal, beautiful grind, the sacrifices nobody sees, the discipline that makes you a machine, the resilience that makes you unfuckable. That's what makes a high-value man. And if you're not willing to suffer for it, bleed for it, lose sleep for it, then be honest with yourself. You don't really want it. Because the man who wants it takes it. And the man who takes it doesn't care how long it takes, how much it hurts, or how many times he has to rebuild. He becomes unbreakable, unshakable, unmatched. You want to win? Then live like it, eat like it, train like it, speak like it, move like it, think like it. Every breath should feel like purpose. Every step should feel like war. Every action should reflect that you're not here to participate, you're here to conquer. This world is yours if you claim it, but you don't claim it by being soft. You claim it by becoming bulletproof, relentless, and unapologetically ambitious. Be so consistent, they call it obsession. Be so disciplined, they call it cold. Be so committed, they call it crazy. And when they do, smile, because it means you're no longer one of them. You're no longer ordinary. You've separated yourself. And that's the point. The high-value man is not average. He's not common. He's not understood. He's feared, respected, and remembered. You think you're too far gone? Too old? Too late? That's the lie they feed the weak to keep them quiet. The truth is, the moment you flip that switch, truly flip it, your life changes forever. One savage decision can redirect your entire existence. One moment of pure will can wipe out years of self-doubt. And that moment is now. Right now. You reading this isn't coincidence, it's a test. And how you respond determines who you become from this moment forward. So rise, get ruthless with your discipline, get obsessed with your mission, get focused like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day you stall, another man outworks you. Every excuse you make, another man takes your spot. You want to become a high-value man? Then never again act like anything less. Never again bow to comfort. Never again water yourself down. Stand tall, speak with conviction, walk like a king, move like a beast, and never let weakness lead your life again. You're not here to survive, you're here to dominate. You're not here to fit in, you're here to stand out. You're not here to hope, you're here to build, conquer, and become legendary.